Something surprised me this week. I realized I've been hard on myself, harder than I deserved. Because if you'd asked me last week, and I think it's also evident in last week's video, how things were going, I probably would have told you not great. I would have told you I wasn't doing enough, that I should be further ahead, that I still wasn't where I wanted to be. But I stopped and really looked at my life and I realized I've actually been changing just slowly and in ways I didn't even notice. Hey, I'm Bev and this is the Restart Life Mom Month. This space is for moms rebuilding their lives after survival mode. Maybe motherhood consumed you. Maybe divorce cracked your world wide open. Maybe life, trauma, burnout, or heartbreak left you looking around wondering how you even got here. And now you're trying to figure out how to rebuild everything. Your health, confidence, finances, routines, identity, womanhood, life. That's what we do here. I share the real messy process of rebuilding, from healing your mindset and nervous system to learning how to adult, create routines, take care of yourself again, and build a life that actually feels good to live. I am not coming from a perfect place. I'm on this journey too. After 5 years of rebuilding my own life after it crumbled, I've learned that healing isn't about becoming perfect. It's about learning how to keep showing up for yourself with grace, honesty, and courage. So if you're restarting your life one small step at a time, you're in the right place. I think the theme of this week has been learning to trust the process, not because everything is suddenly perfect, not because I've had some huge breakthrough, but because I'm realizing that consistency doesn't always look exciting. Sometimes it looks so ordinary that you actually miss it. And maybe that's the point. This week wasn't glamorous. I haven't magically become the woman who wakes up at 5 a.m. and runs the miles. I'm still hovering at around 5,000 steps actually. And part of me wanted to beat myself up for that. Part of me wanted to say, come on, you should be doing more. But that's old thinking, because I realized I've already been making changes. Every morning, I've been starting my day with chia seed water and a lime, followed by a shot of apple cider vinegar, lemon, and turmeric. I've been waiting until I'm actually hungry before eating breakfast instead of just eating because it's a certain time. And I didn't even give myself credit for those things because they're so small. And I think that's what surprised me. Sometimes we're so focused on the mountain we haven't climbed that we ignore the ground we've already covered. And that's exactly what I was doing. Business-wise, it's also been another consistent week. Showing up, learning, creating, growing, not perfectly, but steadily. And honestly, that's starting to really feel good and helping with the whole competence equals more confidence thing. Because for the last 2 years, I haven't shown up consistently. I would try and fall off saying things to myself like, oh, I need to think about this, or oh, I need to plan it more. Starting and stopping, wondering if I should, wondering if anyone actually cared. But now, this is just becoming part of who I am. Not because I've arrived anywhere specific yet, but because I've just kept going. This is just literally what I do now. It's part of my day. I think one of the hardest parts about rebuilding your life is that progress often feels invisible. We think transformation is dramatic. Like one day we wake up and everything is different. But I don't think that's how it works. I think transformation happens quietly. It happens when you drink the chia seed water every morning for a week, and then you show up again the next week. It's when you post another video, when you make one better choice, when you keep one promise to yourself. And because those things seem so small, we discount them. We tell ourselves they don't count, but they do. They count because they become evidence that we're changing and becoming a better version of ourselves, that we can actually trust ourselves again. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned this week. Consistency isn't always obvious. Oftentimes you're changing before you feel changed. The habits are taking root before you can see the results. And that's why we can't measure progress only by the big things, because the big things are built on hundreds of invisible moments. Motivation comes and goes, but tiny habits create emotional safety. And that rebuilds trust, and trust changes everything. So next week, I want to focus on noticing what is working, where I'm growing, noticing where I'm keeping promises to myself, and maybe pushing my steps up a little higher. But nothing crazy, not an all or nothing plan. It's also the first week of my kids' summer break, so I'll need to figure out how that routine's gonna work. But it'll mostly be just continuing to build on what already exists, because rebuilding your life happens in these tiny invisible moments. The moments that don't look impressive and the moments that nobody applauds. The moments where you just simply choose to keep going even though it doesn't feel dramatic. Because that's what rising from the ashes really looks like. It's not giant leaps or overnight transformations. It's quiet faithfulness and small decisions over and over again, and tiny habits. It's promises to yourself that you actually keep, and one day you'll look back and realize you weren't stuck. You are growing roots, and roots grow underground long before anyone sees the fruit. So if your progress feels slow right now, keep going. It's okay. Because some of the most beautiful things that God creates spend a long time underground before they ever bloom. I'll see you next week.